Welcome back to Data Centers News Asia, and this time it seems you're coming at me from a French museum, James.
It's actually more Italian art style, but no, I'm actually here in Tokyo. How are things, Reese?
Yeah, they are good. Singapore is still alive and popping. Unfortunately, we don't have much Japan-related news this week. We do have a some AI-ready updates from Digital Realty in Osaka, but how's the conference before we dive into it?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, myself, Jing Wen, we've been here since Tuesday. The event is like I think as with all W media events, it's a bit busy. A couple of familiar faces up from Singapore and around the region, and then yeah, all the bosses from Japan here. So it's pretty good.
Excellent. I will be expecting a detailed match report from Nolan then later, so please take notes now. Let's go into the stories then, because we've got to say there's the one in Japan. There's a big development in Thailand from Control S. Singtel in Johor. Akamai are doing some self-build sites, so got a new potential customer in town for everyone. And there's some updates on the bid from the Bain Chin Data saga. There's a new player bidding for that as well. Should we start with the Japan one quickly, or do you want to go to Thailand first?
Let's do Thailand. Let's do the big news.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So Control S have a MOU with Eastern Economic Corridor Office, and this is for a 10-acre parcel of land for. Ooh, I saw 50 years and 60 years. I'm just going to say at least 50 years in Chonburi, which I think is where AWS and SuperNAP are. Evolution are a little bit more central, if that's right. If I'm getting my Thailand geography, okay?
Yeah, so it's in the EEC, which is quite a large area, the Eastern Economic Corridor, kind of yeah, obviously east to the east of Bangkok. Yeah, 150 megawatt site, so big development. We kind of got a peek at this project back in, I want to say, February or March time. So it's obviously been in the works for quite a while. But yeah, obviously Control has big footprint in India. I think all of the major certainly all the Western hyperscalers is clients in some shape or form. So their first announcement outside of India, but first of many, I believe.
Yes, yeah, had a chat to him about some of the plans. It seems pretty exciting. I think Sridhar was quoted for this one as saying the data center is designed for hyperscaler needs as well as high-end compute for domestic enterprise. So this is going to be I guess, an all singing, all dancing facility campus when it's done, not just for the cloud companies.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So 150 megawatts. So I expect this to be built out over, I don't know, a decade or so. But yeah, exciting development for what is a very, very hot market.
Yeah, well, interesting stuff. Let's see if Control S can replicate the speed to market they were able to do in India. That'll be good to watch. Um, Next one is from Singtel. This is, I think, expected news for most people that they are also getting involved in Johor. Um, Not a lot of specifics here. There was a Facebook post from Gafuz Ghazi. I apologize, I'm getting the name wrong. Who is the local head for the Johor government? And he mentioned that Singtel were coming and they were developing, but I didn't get much specifics here. Do you have more, James?
I don't have a huge amount. I did read the story, but I think we're probably reading from the same source, well, the same publicly available source. Obviously up in Johor, I think probably trying to cater to hyperscale clients, as is the case with Singtel's Dynamo kind of brand or Dynamo, the company they've set up for their data center projects. Yeah, probably doing something similar to what they're doing in Thailand, Batam, and looking to do in some of the other markets across the region. So again, another big development for Johor, which again, a bit like Bangkok, very hot market, a lot of demand there right now, um, and obviously plays into that SG plus strategy that the Singapore government have put out.
Yeah, what interesting thing I did see on a couple of the press releases here from Dynamo was that, or from Singtel, was that they had listed the new countries they're going into. There's obviously the joint venture in Thailand with Gulf and AIS. There's the Indonesia, the Telkom Medco Jakarta one, and there was a couple of places that had mentioned a new build in Tuas for 40 megawatts. So I don't know if that's some kind of insight on what's happening with the CFA announcement, or whether that is something that's already under planning.
Yeah, no, that is separate to the CFA process.
Right. Okay. always looking for tidbits on this one. Someone texted me this week and said that they heard that there was multiple 10 megawatt awardings, but there's no official sources on that, and I don't know where don't know where this is coming from.
Yeah, well, we've been told multiple 10 megawatts, we've been told 160, we've been told everything. So I think best just wait till the official news is out.
Yeah, yeah. And the interesting one here, so this is Akamai, which is obviously the American content distribution platform. They have announced 5 self-build sites for cloud products. This is in Europe, the US, and India, which is where it becomes Asia relevant. So the Asia one is going to be in Chennai, and this is supposedly going to double the capacity of Akamai's object storage. Uh, Interesting one for me, this, because we've seen OVH, we obviously know that Oracle have been in the market. This is new customers outside the usual sort of 5 or 6 that everyone is chasing, who are all potentially in the market for multi-megawatt orders across the region.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I had a conversation with Cloudflare maybe I don't know 6 9 months ago at this stage, and they were like, well, we were potentially the next hyperscaler, and Akamai's business is obviously slightly different, but kind of a CDN too as well. Um, Chennai, interesting location. Obviously, Chennai's kind of got the benefit of serving the Indian market. Then it's got all the subsea cables as well going directly into Singapore. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this actually plays out in terms of what kind of deployment size it's going to be, timeframes, etc. Like I think Akamai would be maybe kind of a retail wholesale style customer previously, but I don't know, maybe they're going to move up into that hyperscale range in the future.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where these CDNs go across the region. And the investment news story I wanted to cover this week, we talked about this. I think it was 3 weeks ago. I forget. The Bain made the offer to Chin Data to reacquire the stock that they had listed and take them private again. And there's another company coming to bid, $3.4 billion bid from the China Merchants Group, which is a state-owned entity. Reported by Bloomberg, not a press release from Chin Data. So sprinkle a little pinch of salt on this one. What do you think, James?
I think we need to find out who this Bloomberg source is who's linking all this speculation, because you and I never speculate, but this guy at Bloomberg is happy to do so all the time.
Absolutely wild, isn't it? Rampant. Trustworthy news sources like Data Center News Asia.
Yeah, I don't,
But
I don't know who this guy is at Bloomberg, but I would like to meet him. Reach out if you watch the data center news.
yeah, interesting to see. I think that this is a larger bid than was listed for the Bain bid, but Bain remained a 42% stakeholder of Chin Data, so you'd assume that they'll have a decision in this either way. Probably should wait for some actual official press releases from Chin Data, but if something comes of this and we've missed it, then everyone will be saying that we were slacking.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can kind of put that down to the different late evenings we had last night.
Um, onto the Japan story before I let you go, James. You seem to be urging to get back to the conference, or at least a tall glass of water. So Digital Realty and NVIDIA have both been talking in the press this week about the KIX14, which is the Digital Realty Osaka site, the one that we talked about in February when it launched. This site is the first Digital Realty site globally, I believe, to be given the NVIDIA stamp of approval for the DGX H100 GPU, which we're obviously all excited about the complexities of how GPUs work. The important bit from both NVIDIA's Charlie Boyd and from DRT's CTO Chris Sharp was that this is NVIDIA's AI chip, or it's not just for that. Obviously, there's video games and stuff, but this is the GPU build out for a data center to support AI. It seems, and they've got the go ahead to do this.
Yeah, well, obviously, like we were getting asked about AI all the time, so a question like actually came up twice independently this week was, oh yeah, are you seeing any AI specific stuff going into data centers right now across the region? And honest answer is not. a huge amount, but obviously this story kind of changed or kind of shadowed that. So going to be interesting to see how that goes. Like that particular facility is a very strong leasing, so there's obviously something that the hyperscalers and obviously NVIDIA like about it. So yeah, it's going to be one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most of the demand that we've seen so far, there are lots of questions about AI, but it's at the moment it's probably a US thing where they have perhaps the budgets and the easily available locations to make some more experimental facilities, and that seems to be where the customers are buying. But it's only a matter of time before it starts in Asia. I probably wouldn't have had Osaka as my first betting point for it, but obviously, what do I know? It appears nothing.
Well, interesting, a conversation at dinner last night. A US based colleague slash friend was mentioning that like 40 to 50 megawatt requirements for AI in the US are regarded as small now.
Mm.
So that kind of gives like a snippet as to how big these requirements may be in the future. Of course, still speculation. We don't have the full impact of what AI deployments are going to look like, but it could be very well. It is a game changer. I think it's safe to say that at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, will we still be part of the game though? That's the question. All the data centers get built, but we're out of a job.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
All right, I will let you get a strong coffee and enjoy the rest of the conference and get some productive meetings in, and we'll see you back in Singapore next week, James.
Yes, look forward to it. Catch you then, Reese. See you, everyone.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.